Welcome to my Cefalu travel guide, where I'll share everything you need to know before visiting this beautiful seaside gem in Sicily, Italy, from hidden spots to local food and cultural tips. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, comment, and share, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more travel adventures around Cefalu, Sicily, and beyond. If you have any questions or need more information, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'm happy to help. Cefalu is a charming seaside town located on the northern coast of Sicily, about 70 kilometers east of Palermo. It's famous for its stunning Norman cathedral, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, built in the 12th century with impressive Arab Norman architecture. Nestled between the Madoni Mountains and the Tyrrhenian Sea, Cefalu offers a picturesque blend of natural beauty and rich history. The town attracts tourists with its sandy beaches, medieval streets, and vibrant local culture. Whether you're into history, food, or relaxing coastal views, Cefalu has something for every traveler. The closest airport to Cefalu is Palermo Falcone Borsellino Airport, located about 100 kilometers away. From the airport, you can take a train to Cefalu, which is a scenic and convenient ride along the coast. Driving is also a great option, especially if you want the flexibility to explore the surrounding areas. Private transfers are available from Palermo Airport, offering a hassle-free and comfortable way to reach the town. Another option is to take a taxi or Uber, but it can be a bit costly. Cefalu's compact size makes it a very walkable town, and strolling through its narrow medieval streets is part of the experience. If you're planning to explore nearby towns or the Madoni Mountains, renting a car gives you the most freedom. Public transportation, including buses and regional trains, can connect you to other parts of Sicily. For a fun alternative, you can also rent a bicycle or scooter to get around locally. Boat tours are another great way to enjoy the coastline and explore hidden coves and beaches. The local currency is the euro, and most places accept credit cards, although it's handy to have some cash for small purchases. Italian is the official language, but English is commonly spoken in tourist areas. Citizens of the EU, USA, Canada, and several other countries can enter Italy visa-free for up to 90 days. It's important to note that Sicilian culture is warm and welcoming, with a slower pace of life, especially during afternoon siestas when shops may close. Dressing modestly when visiting churches and learning a few basic Italian phrases will go a long way in connecting with locals. Cefalu Beach was the first place I visited, and its golden sand and turquoise waters were the perfect welcome to the town. It's ideal for swimming or just lounging with a granita in hand. At Piazza Cristoforo Colombo, I found a quiet moment under the trees, with a lovely view of the sea and the small statue of Columbus standing proudly in the center. Walking along Via Vittorio Emanuele, I enjoyed browsing quaint shops, grabbing a coffee, and feeling immersed in the town's historic charm. The old Marina Gate, or Porta Marina, was like stepping through a time portal, framing the sea beautifully and offering one of the most photographed spots in Cefalu. Just past the gate, Old Port Beach felt more intimate and peaceful, perfect for dipping your feet and watching the local fishermen return. Lago Eroi del Mare was a lovely little square where I paused to admire a monument dedicated to fallen heroes, all while street musicians filled the air with soft tunes. I wandered over to Cefalu Pier and watched the sunset reflect over the water, with fishing boats gently bobbing in the harbor, a peaceful highlight of the day. Via Carlo Ortolani di Bordenero was my favorite street to walk in the old town, filled with vibrant restaurants, artisan shops, and the authentic buzz of local life. Cathedral Square Piazza del Duomo was always full of life, especially in the late afternoon, when locals and tourists gathered at the cafes beneath the grand palms. The Cefalu Cathedral itself is breathtaking, and walking inside to see the stunning Byzantine mosaics, especially the Christ Pantocrator, was one of the most spiritual moments of my trip. Right next door, I peeked into the Episcopal Seminary, a peaceful courtyard filled with history and silence, offering a break from the busy square. Palazzo Pirino, with its grand balconies and historic presence right on the piazza, was a reminder of Cefalu's noble past. I followed Corso Ruggero, the town's main artery, lined with shops, churches, and local bakeries where I tasted some of the best cannoli of my life. Hiking up Cefalu La Rocca was a sweaty but rewarding adventure, offering panoramic views of the coastline and the town's terracotta rooftops. At the top, the Cefalu Castle ruins gave a real sense of history and solitude. Standing there, I could almost imagine life centuries ago. Each place in Cefalu added a unique layer to my journey, and together they created an unforgettable mosaic of beauty, culture, and warmth. One of the most memorable moments of my trip was hiking up to a panoramic viewpoint where the coastal cliffs stretched endlessly, the sea shimmering under the Mediterranean sun. I spent hours wandering through narrow streets, where every corner revealed colorful balconies, stone archways, and the scent of fresh herbs. On a warm afternoon, I relaxed on a quiet sandy beach, the water so clear I could see tiny fish swimming around my feet. I loved browsing through little artisan shops, filled with handmade ceramics, woven baskets, and delicate glasswork that told stories of the island's heritage. Sunset became a daily ritual. I'd find a scenic overlook, sit in silence, and watch the sky melt into gold over the sea. One evening, I treated myself to a feast of freshly caught seafood at a seaside restaurant, where everything tasted like it had been pulled from the ocean that morning. There was a small local bakery tucked between two alleyways where I tried a selection of traditional pastries, and I swear I still dream about the ricotta-filled ones. The old harbor area was alive with character, especially the brightly painted fishing boats gently swaying on the water. I climbed a rocky trail that led me to ancient ruins at the top of a hill, rewarded with breathtaking views and complete stillness. In a sunny little square, I sat at an outdoor cafe sipping espresso and watching daily life unfold around me. One of the highlights was taking a cooking class where I learned how to prepare classic Sicilian dishes using fresh, local ingredients. Even without a plan, I stumbled upon centuries-old architecture that seemed frozen in time, quietly hidden around quiet corners. One evening, I visited a cozy enoteca and tasted regional wines while chatting with the owner about the unique local grapes. I also took a day trip to Palermo, where the vibrant chaos of markets and history offered a fascinating contrast to the peaceful pace of the island. Renting a bike was another great decision. I rode through the countryside and along the coast, feeling free and completely immersed in nature. Some afternoons, I'd sit with a cone of gelato under the shade of a palm, just watching people go by and soaking up the easy rhythm of local life. In the evenings, local musicians would gather in small plazas, filling the air with music and joy. I was captivated by the mix of medieval architecture and the charming balconies overflowing with colorful flowers and hanging laundry. Breakfast became something to look forward to, granita with soft brioche, just like the locals enjoy it. Early one morning, I watched fishermen mend their nets by the harbor, a quiet reminder of the island's deep connection to the sea. I loved getting lost in the medieval alleyways, where every turn led to something unexpected. One day, I took a boat tour and saw the dramatic coastline from the water, with hidden coves and secret beaches. In quiet moments, I'd wander into tiny chapels and churches, often empty but filled with stories. Before leaving, I made sure to pick up some beautiful Sicilian souvenirs, everything from olive oil to handmade ceramics that brought a piece of the island back home with me. Experiencing local culture in Cefalu feels like stepping into an authentic slice of Sicilian life. One of the highlights of my visit was attending the Festa del Santissimo Salvatore in early August, when the whole town comes alive with religious processions, fireworks, and traditional music. Wandering the streets, I noticed how locals love their evening passeggiata, a slow social walk. Just join in and you'll feel like a part of the community. It's good to greet people with a warm buongiorno or buonasera and show respect, especially when entering small shops or local homes. Whether watching fishermen mend their nets or tasting fresh cannoli from a family-run pasticceria, the warmth and pride of Cefalu's people are unforgettable. I visited Cefalu in late spring, and it was absolutely perfect, sunny, warm, and not overcrowded. Summer June to August is peak season, great for beach lovers, but it gets hot and busy, so book early. Autumn brings fewer tourists, beautiful sunsets, and a more relaxed atmosphere, which I personally enjoyed. Winter is the quietest time, and while some restaurants and hotels may close, it offers a peaceful, local experience and cheaper prices. Spring April to May might be the best overall, with blooming landscapes, comfortable weather, and lively local events starting up. Compared to major European destinations like Paris or Amsterdam, Cefalu is relatively affordable, though it can be pricier than some inland towns in Sicily. I found that food was very reasonably priced. Delicious seafood pasta or a fresh pizza cost around €10, €15, even at places with a sea view. Accommodations vary, with boutique hotels in the historic centre being on the higher end, especially in summer. Activities like beach lounging, cathedral visits, and hikes in the Madoni Mountains were all either low-cost or free. While not the cheapest town in Sicily, Cefalu offers good value, especially for its coastal beauty and cultural richness. Yes, Cefalu has plenty of options for travelers on a budget. I stayed in a cozy guest house just outside the center for less than €50 a night. Street food like arancini or panel sandwiches are tasty, filling, and often under €5. Many of the best experiences, like walking the Lungomare at sunset or climbing La Rocca for panoramic views, are completely free. Public beaches are accessible and stunning, and the historic center itself feels like an open-air museum. The train is the cheapest and most convenient way to get in and out of town, and perfect for budget travelers wanting to explore more of Sicily. When I visited Cefalu in spring, I packed light layers. Days were sunny and warm, but evenings had a slight breeze. In summer, it gets really hot, so breathable clothing, hats, and sunglasses are a must, but always bring something to cover your shoulders if you're visiting churches like the Cefalu Cathedral. There's no strict dress code around town, but locals tend to dress smart casual, even when just going for a walk. I noticed tourists in beachwear were fine along the coast, but it's best to dress modestly in town or at religious sites. Comfortable walking shoes are a must, especially for cobblestone streets and climbing La Rocca. The heart of Cefalu is its historic city centre, where I spent most of my time exploring narrow alleys, lively piazzas, and charming seaside views. The Piazza del Duomo, with the stunning Norman cathedral, is the main hub and a must-visit spot, especially in the evening when it lights up beautifully. The old fishing harbour offers postcard-perfect views and a peaceful place to relax. Strolling along the Lungomare, the long seaside promenade, was one of my favourite moments. It's lined with beach clubs, cafes, and sunset views. Everything is within walking distance, so it's easy to soak in the town's vibe while discovering hidden gems along the way. Cefalu is a foodie's dream, and I couldn't get enough of fresh seafood pasta, caponata, and sweet cassata. One of my favorite street snacks was arancini, which you can find in almost every corner bakery or takeaway spot. Traditional Sicilian cuisine dominates most menus, but I also found some great vegan options, especially salads with citrus, grilled veggies, and chickpea-based dishes. Cefalu, some Michelin-starred restaurants and local trattorias serve food that feels gourmet, especially with seaside views. Be sure to try granita with brioche in the morning. It's a local ritual and totally delicious. Shopping in Cefalu was a lovely experience. I picked up handmade ceramic tiles with Sicilian motifs and little bottles of locally produced olive oil. Lemon-themed souvenirs, from soaps to limoncello, are also popular and easy to carry home as gifts. Artisan shops in the old town sell unique jewelry, woven baskets, and hand-painted pottery, all perfect mementos of the island. Most shops have fixed prices, but in local markets or street stalls, it's okay to ask for a small discount if you're buying multiple items. One of the best things I brought back was a jar of pistachio cream. It's a sweet, rich taste of Sicily I still think about. During my stay in Cefalu, I chose a charming B&B in the historic centre, which gave me easy access to the beach, restaurants, and cultural sites, all within walking distance. The most popular area to stay is definitely around the old town and along the Lungomare, where you'll find everything from boutique hotels to family-run guest houses. For a more luxurious experience, there are stunning seaside resorts with private beaches and pools. I also came across a few eco-resorts nestled in the nearby hills, perfect for travelers looking for a quiet, sustainable escape surrounded by nature. Whether you're on a budget or looking to splurge, Cefalu offers something for every kind of traveler. Cefalu's nightlife is more about charm than chaos. Don't expect big clubs, but instead, cozy wine bars and lively seaside spots that stay open late. One of my favorite nights was sipping local Sicilian wine at a bar tucked into the medieval streets, with live acoustic music playing in the background. There are a few beach bars that turn up the energy in summer, especially on weekends, where locals and travelers mingle by the sea. For a more laid-back evening, I enjoyed grabbing a gelato and walking the lungomare under the stars. It's perfect for those who want to relax with a drink, good conversation, and a beautiful view. If you're short on time, even one full day in Cefalu lets you see the highlights like the Duomo, the beach, and the old town. I stayed for 3 nights, which felt ideal. It gave me time to climb La Rocca, explore nearby beaches, and just enjoy the relaxed pace. A longer stay, around 5 to 7 days, is perfect if you plan to take day trips into the Madoni Mountains or explore other coastal villages. Cefalu has a way of slowing you down, making you want to stay longer than planned. Whether it's a quick stop or part of a longer Sicilian journey, it easily becomes a trip highlight. I felt very safe walking around Cefalu, even at night, and I met several solo travelers, especially women, who felt the same. The locals are friendly and helpful, and the town has a very relaxed, welcoming atmosphere. While I didn't encounter any scams, it's always good to be cautious around overly pushy street vendors or inflated prices near the beach in peak season. In case of emergency, the general emergency number in Italy is 112, and I recommend having your accommodations contact info saved just in case. Overall, Cefalu feels like a peaceful and secure destination for travelers of all kinds. Absolutely, Cefalu was one of the most memorable parts of my trip to Sicily, combining history, natural beauty, and authentic charm in one small, walkable town. From swimming in crystal-clear waters to watching the sunset behind the cathedral, every moment felt like something out of a postcard. It has the perfect mix of relaxation and culture, without feeling overcrowded or overly touristy. I'd recommend it to anyone looking for a genuine Sicilian experience with stunning coastal scenery. For me, Cefalu wasn't just worth it, it was unforgettable. Thanks for watching my Cefalu travel guide. I hope it gave you everything you need to know before visiting this stunning town in Sicily, Italy. If you found it helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share the video, and subscribe to my channel for more travel tips and guides from Cefalu, Sicily, and other beautiful places in Italy. If you have any questions or want to know more, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'd love to help.